Our stream is dry. That isn't that unusual. Generally happens for 2 weeks at most Augusts, unless we have a particularly wet year. The unusual part is that it's September 18th today, and it's been dry since mid-June. The reason that the stream is so dry? Well, we've had a very dry summer. Starting about mid-May, we had some really hot, dry weather, and while in early June it got not so hot, it continued to stay mostly dry. And then July got a little bit wetter. I would say it wasn't too far below normal, but it was back to being really dry for August and so far in September. A little bit further up the stream, you can see there's still some ponds of water. But it's not flowing. It was flowing earlier today, but the diurnal cycle means that it's dried up. Got a little bit of continuous flow here. You can tell that this is a losing reach, at least at this time of year. It's the top of our irrigation pipe right back there. Back into some thick stuff. Expect this to have a bit more water because I know there's a lot of clay down on the bottom here in this ditch. This is really dry. I think we've only had one year where we weren't able to get consistent water flow at the irrigation pipe inlet. Most years, even when it dries up, we've got a good amount of flow there, like more than we have currently in this channel, which is basically nothing, just a little trickle. So you may have noticed earlier that, and you see all the vegetation around here, well, this is in the stream where it's wet, but the grass is still green, and the trees are, well, other than that they're changing colors, which is indicative of a dry year because they change colors earlier, and this is fairly earlier when they're under water stress. But yeah, it's not getting much more water as I go further up here. It's not even less. Maybe about the same. But even in this like pretty dry, I think it's the driest year I've ever seen, like the plants are still green because like this is dry for us, but the soil still has moisture in it. The soil isn't completely dried out. And part of that is we have just really good soil because we're an area that normally has a lot of moisture. It's my understanding in areas that are generally more dry, the soil deteriorates more. So then the cycle is so it's drier, so it doesn't have as good soil because there isn't as much growth. So then the soil can't hold as much water, so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, positive feedback loop. But even though these are invasives around here, mostly on the ground, the bishopweed, goutweed, it's green, and so hopefully we get some rain soon. We need it.